Hi everyone, welcome to the most entertaining podcast. We are host for this week, Tobi Lakesh. Joining me is a TMU regular, Aanu. How you doing, bro? Happy New Year.
Not bad, bro. Happy New Year.
All right, good to see you. Good to be back. Thanks again for watching us, guys. So yeah, let's get into it. Today we're going to be discussing where Raheem Sterling should go in the transfer window. It's already a couple days into the transfer window. It's January. Let's see what's going to happen. A lot of good moves so far. I'm liking Semenyo to Man City. Although he's an Arsenal fan, I'm kind of sad to see him go to City. But I don't think we're in a position to get any new players right now. At least in the attack position. But overall, I'm happy for Semenyo. A lot of different moves happening. Um, it's looking like a very interesting window for a lot of the guys at the bottom. I want to see what West Ham's going to do. Leeds are looking good. I want to see what Burnley are going to do. I'm like, Wolves, they won yesterday, so I don't know if they're going to feel like they might have a chance. Should they go into the transfer market and try something? That would be too crazy. That would be really the great escape if Wolves could do something like that. But today we're going to be talking about Raheem Sterling. I think it's interesting. I did see Raheem come up on my feed. I think yesterday or 2 days ago when he was doing some coaching, and someone was saying that, oh, this is a Premier League legend, and Raheem Sterling has been here for a minute. Although he's still somewhat relatively old. He's already past his 30s, so people will call him old. I feel like with longevity and the way sports are, he still might have something left for us. People would agree generally that he's lost a bit of pace, that he's not the guy he was when he first came on the scene with Liverpool and City. And obviously, he's not been doing too well with his stints at Chelsea and Arsenal. But yeah, we're going to get into all of that. I mean, let's keep going. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, he's clearly a legend for sure. Why? Scored 123 Premier League goals.
Yeah. So like that's really truly so correct. Obviously, I got a little bit ahead of myself. Before we get into the episode, we kind of already got into it, but we're going to get into it some more. The most entertaining game of Week 13 last week was the 4-1 battering of Tottenham by Arsenal with the Barry Eze scoring the hat trick. Again, every chance I get to talk about that game, I'm going to take it. Although it's interesting, after the hat trick and I think one or two, average performances, Eze hasn't really been in the Arsenal side recently, and that has kind of like a lot of people are talking about that, saying like, oh, as Eze, what's the word? Is Eze and Arteta having a thing? Is there something going on there? My personal take on it, excuse me, my personal take on it is that I think that Eze had, I think I can't remember what game it was exactly, but it was a game where Eze was supposed to come out left back. I think it was Aston Villa against Matty Cash. He was warned about that in the game, and he made that error again, and we considered a goal on that. So I think that kind of situation in terms of him making that mistake, as well as the fact that he's played in four competitions. That I saw this argument recently that okay, Eze was from Crystal Palace. They didn't play this many competitions. Eze is now in a different situation with way more games that he has to play. Naturally, that's going to take some build up. So I think maybe it's a bit of both going on. I really do feel like that mistake brought Matty Cash against Villa, which cost Arsenal the game. I think that had a big did a big part to it. What are you gonna say, Adam? Go ahead.
No, yeah, I mean, 100%. It's more just because now he's actually playing for like a big team now. So yeah.
Yeah, he's gonna have to cover all facets of the game. I think in the Palace, it's okay for that because he's the main guy. At Arsenal, it's not you can't let your guy go. You have to at least be in the challenge for him. So obviously that was the game of the week last week. This week takes us to Germany, where we have a 3-2 classic between Hamburg and Werder Bremen. Obviously that was a blockbuster thriller kind of game where Vucevic, from Tottenham, scored one of the goals of the season. That is a sick goal. I'm not going to say too much about that. You guys need to check it out. Very, very nice Ibrahimovic-esque kind of goal. Shout out to Lokonga as well. Lokonga had, if you know, you know. When Lokonga was coming to Arsenal, I think I can't remember what the name of his club in Belgium. They have like purple in their color. Can you remember? The
I'm pretty
club
sure he
that
played for Anderlecht.
yes, Anderlecht. Thank you. So I think a lot of the greats from Belgium come up to Anderlecht in the Belgium league, right? But anyways, Lokonga came from Belgium to Arsenal. I was very very happy to see him. I liked his style of play. I think he was going to be Awaya Toure. Obviously, that didn't manifest the way I wanted it to, but he was on the score sheet. Fabio Vieira, another ex-Arsenal player, a guy that I also like a lot, that I hopefully I feel could still be successful at Arsenal. I don't know if he's fully been sold, or is it like a loan with obligation type of situation? I think he
Bro,
was,
bro,
yeah.
he is never playing for your team again. Stop playing. Stop playing, bro.
He is at his level.
Yeah.
Well, I love Fabio Vieira and I love Sabilo Conga. And one more thing I want to talk about Vieira is I love his celebration with Martinelli when they would do I think it's the trunks and go 10 thing. That was I think like I forget the name of the move, but the moment they go like this. If you feel you know, just Google it, you find out. But yeah, I love that celebration as well. So definitely a lovely era to have those guys play for Arsenal. We're very happy to see them be on the end of a 3-2 win. You guys should definitely check out the game of the week. Hamburg versus Werder Bremen. All right. It's linked below. Subscribe if you enjoy our content, and thank you for your support once again. Okay, let's get started for real this time. So we're talking about Raheem Sterling and where he should go with this transfer window. This episode is going to have 3 sections. It's going to be the most realistic option, the most fun option, and the wild card option. Each person on the panel will have a club suggested for each section. So yeah, let's get into it. I mean, you're going to go first, and I'll just piggyback off you and let you know my option. So for Raheem Sterling, what's the most realistic option for him right now?
Sure. So for me, the most realistic option has to be West Ham. Most likely playing off the left flank. I know that they've played Somerville there as well as Lucas P, but none of them have really made it their own. And he would obviously provide a lot of experience in the Premier League as well as pace and the movement off the ball as well. So I think, yeah, for the most realistic option has to be West Ham for me.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I think one thing I'm gonna attempt to figure out your reasoning for why you picked West Ham, and you'll tell me if I'm wrong. Are you coming from the point of view of like more of like West Ham is a realistic option because that's the club that would be willing to take him?
So, yes. So I'm actually pretty sure that a few days ago I had read that they wanted him. So that's why. So that's like the most likely option for him.
I think that's very valid as well. Obviously, West Ham are not in a good situation at all. They definitely need help from an attacking point of view. They've already changed coach twice this year. They lost to Wolves, bottom of the table Wolves 3-0. So, just out of nowhere, Wolves now has 6 points when they had 2 points. They're finally picking up some points. It's gonna be an interesting season. There's no way Wolves are gonna make it, right? They're not gonna make it, are they?
No.
Okay. I like to do, it's already sounding very big. If they win their next game, bro, we're on to something. But switching away, my most realistic option actually I think is gonna be Fulham. The reason why I'm gonna pick Fulham is that like one thing, the reason why Raheem Sterling hasn't moved yet is because he still sees himself at a level he doesn't want to put himself in a certain situation, and he feels like, all right, I would like to be able to perform at this level of club, and this is where I see myself at. Obviously, I'm sure he's not happy with the fact that it's not been successful at Chelsea or at Arsenal. So in his head, he's going to be like, all right, I'm going to have to find a different level for myself where I can still be performed, but not necessarily, I'm really dropped multiple levels now. So I don't think that's big for him that he wants to stay in London. I think Fulham is a good shot for him. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm pretty sure Fulham is a West London club, as well as Chelsea. So that's already a perfect situation for him location-wise. Um, for Fulham, do they really need him? No, they have many attacking options, but at the same time, they don't score a lot of goals. So will this make a difference? I don't know. When Arsenal go ahead.
Yeah, so for the Fulham thing, actually, they were on my list, but yeah, that's actually the main reason why I actually hadn't picked them was because he needs to play. He needs to play.
Yeah, that's the he needs to play. But Fulham are scoring a lot of goals. If he looking at it from a very, very like what's the word strict point of view, I'm thinking, okay, all these things need to go in his favor for him to play for Fulham. That maybe it might not be like the best location for him. But I mean, like I still feel like he would just be happy to be in another location, a different place. Fulham for whatever fee they're gonna get him for, will have to play him to justify whatever they're paying. So he will get minutes for sure. The question is, can he perform? And compared to what they currently have, it's worth a gamble, especially if it's a loan deal. It would likely be a loan deal, in my opinion. Somebody else pay his wages and he takes a 6 month loan to the end of the season. probably try and go permanent in summer. But that's why I see it as a very realistic option for him. Fulham. What's the most fun option for you?
So for me, the most fun option has to be Milan, and I'm not talking about AC. Speaking about Inter, I would like him to play as the backup to Lautaro as well as to Marcus Thuram. I know that the backup options that they have over there right now are Johan Boni and Pio Esposito, and they've not really had the best season so far. And I think just having like the pacing behind would be massive for them. And the thing with Syria is that it's been a very good place for like the vets to go, and a lot of the top teams still play in like the UCL and like stuff like that. So I think per se he does move over there, it won't be like a drop on like the quality or anything like that. He will still be very very present on the screens that we watch. It's just that I think it might be significantly less pressure for him as well. So the most fun option for me has to be Inter Milan.
I think what's very interesting now, I was also going to go Italy for similar reasons. Because I was thinking, what's the problem with Ryan Johnny's game? How could so much have changed for him in a short amount of time? That has to be the pace of the game and the physical requirements of the Premier League are just too much for him. I think that's my opinion personally. He doesn't have as much time on the ball to calculate and figure out what he wants to do. I feel like Italy has been a good place for Premier League players that are not doing too well to be able to still showcase that game. But the Italian game is a bit different, very, very much tactical, very, very much about space and positioning, and less about that physical game. That's not what they're trying to do. So I think Sterling definitely will do well in Italy. Um, I think, but where I was going to go was the other side of Milan. I was going to go AC Milan instead. The reason why I was going to go AC Milan because I think the big thing, when you're going to come to Italy, you want to be in an environment that's very conducive for you. And AC Milan have a storied history, at least in the last 5+ years, of getting a lot of people from England who are not doing too well and helping them a little bit established. No, not really get established. Because AC Milan haven't been doing amazing in the last couple of years, but at least they've been willing to give English players that haven't, really taken off a chance. So Tammy Abraham is one of them. Obviously they have Ruben Loftus-Cheek right now. Obviously there's been an influx of players coming to Italian clubs. I don't think Napoli need him. Inter Milan, I didn't want to go for Inter just because I felt like Inter's game was a little bit too much for Sterling. Inter's game is very physical, very like a lot of pace, a lot of energy, a lot of runs. I don't know if Sterling has that. I don't know if
So
I.
the thing with Sterling is just like I know like a lot of people think he may have lost like maybe a few yards of pace, but I think it's more just he's not really played a lot of games. I think he's like the kind of person who needs to like play a lot. And it's like when he's not playing, it's like very obvious when he is on the pitch. So I think it's not a question of pace, it's more of a question of like the fitness aspect of things.
So he needs to like play himself into form, kind of thing.
Yeah.
But nobody has time. That's the problem.
Hence why for the most realistic options we picked the smaller teams. So
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Because they don't really have much to lose. But yeah, that's it for me. On the realistic option. Oh, was this the fun option? This was the fun option. My bad, y'all. So yeah, that was it for the fun option. Now we're gonna go into the wild card. Who are you picking for the wild card?
all right, so for the wild card, my pick is Leeds actually. I know that they've switched from a 4-2-3-1 to a 3-5-2. They play DCL up top with Mr. Okafor, but I think Sterling is a slightly superior player to him. I think he has the pace to be able to make space between the lines for the midfielders through his runs and stuff like that. And also, it's more just like I know he is a Premier League player still, and it's really just like the perfect opportunity to show that. So yeah, the World Cup for me is Leeds.
I think that's a fantastic take. I think Leeds would be very, 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 a very nice journey for him. I think he would be able to link up with Calvin Lewin very much so. I'm very happy for Leeds and the Farker. Obviously, earlier in the season, people were coming for his head, wanting to get fired, but I think they finally found some stability. And I'll be very, very happy to see Leeds stay in the Premier League this season. They got another. I think they got points today against Manchester United at home. So I think they did really good for themselves. They're going up the table slowly, making that gap more and more um, just to before I talk about my wild card, who do you think is going to go down? So you said Wolves earlier. Is West Ham gone for you?
Okay,
West
so
Ham
who I
gone.
think will go down? I'm pretty sure we've had the predictions already, actually, since when the season started. But I will say again, for sure Wolves, for sure. Then West Ham and Burnley.
Yeah, Burnley's to be on their way out as well. I don't see how they're going to change it. I think the storyline with them is that they're very much found the location and they can't really change too much unless they do a big signing and bring some attacker, some winger to like
See, but
push.
like that's the thing. I think for Burnley, it's like very hard for them to like try and attract the best players because who the fuck is trying to play for Burnley anyway?
You have to find some talent out of Turkey, some guy out of Germany, and like what happens to days of finding some dude out of South America and be like, "Yo, come score goals for us." We don't do
So
that.
I mean,
Everybody wants
that
that
still
stereotype.
happens.
No,
Still happens because of like
they all pick the guys that are like the dribblers that are gonna excite the crowd. They don't be picking the Carlos Tevez types anymore.
So for me, the big mistake they make is they do tend to go too young, right? Because a lot of the time they need a lot of experience still, but for some reason I think it's because of like the stats and everything, of course. So
Yeah,
there are certain times that people forget about, the intangibles, which a lot of these young players do not have.
agreed, agreed. Yeah, I think we need more of that. I feel like the last guy that was kind of that ilk was Julian Alvarez when he came to City. I can't really think of the last like striker from South America that came and really like
Probably John Duran.
John Duran, but I don't know, he went for the money, and I don't blame him. I don't blame him, but he's gonna stay there for 3 years, get tax free cuts, send his family out
So
for life, then come back.
so actually now he's playing in Turkey. He plays for
Oh, he already
Fenerbahce.
left. I think I might have heard something about that.
Mhm.
So already he's already gone to Turkey. That's so interesting. Um, it is what it is. It was an experience. Maybe they loved it so much. I'm sure he'll find his way back into the Premier League. The guy is an amazing player. All right, so my wild card option. I guess I've been delaying because mine is kind of wild for real. And I was going to go. Uh, I don't think it's wild card because I don't think he's ever gonna go for this. But I think one of the really big things for him is London, and like I think the story of the club he's going to. Why go to West Ham and just lose and get relegated? That's the thing. I was gonna go West Ham usually for my wild card, but I'm thinking, I don't think Sterling wants that kind of situation. It takes a lot to be humble to be able to be like, all right, that's why I am. I'm gonna go do a job. I just want to play. I'll play anyway, even for losing. I don't know if he wants that. I think what's going to be very interesting. I think maybe if he drops down an additional level and goes to the championship and plays for a team who has a chance to come to the Premier League and joins,
Bruh,
and joins,
that is really a fucking wild card.
I know, but I have Millwall, bro. Millwall is doing not so bad. They're the top eight, mixing around the top eight of the championship, and they're looking good to get
No,
to the Premier League.
no,
I know.
no, bro.
Well,
Well, no,
my
no, no,
wild
no,
card.
no, no. You don't know. That's the most racist club in England.
No, I
Easily.
said I know, like I agree where you're coming from. I know it's crazy. I know. But
Bro,
if we're talking
no,
about the
bro.
love of
It
the game,
sounds like you are trying to have him killed. Straight up. Dead ass, my guy. Dead ass.
you're coming from that point of view, I fair play. I mean,
Yeah.
go on.
Yeah, bro. Yeah.
I don't think. Well. Why you put it like that? Why you put it like that?
So
Why you put
okay,
it like that?
so per se he wants to go back to the championship. He has to go back to where it started. He needs to go back to QPR.
I thought about QPR as well. QPR was there, but the problem with like QPR have no shot to come back to the Premier League unless he's
Mm-hmm.
giving up on the Premier League dream. My first choice was QPR because I saw them was like Charlton Athletic, QPR, and Millwall. Millwall is the only one that has the good shout. Millwall is kind of crazy. I know.
Bro, it's so
But
fucking crazy. What?
when you do add the spices of the what's the word? How would I say this in the nice way? the Millwall fan politics. I don't know what to call it. What do I call it?
Bro, straight up just fucking racism.
Yeah, pretty much. Just that.
Yeah.
So because of that, right? Yeah, I would see why Sterling would want to put his family in that situation. I was thinking about it purely from the footballing point of view, in terms of accomplishing all of his like requirements. But yeah, that tinge of that tinge is not going to help it. So pretty
So
much.
so
So
straight up.
here's what we're gonna do. Here's what we're gonna
Mhm.
do. We're gonna Ixnay, Millwall, and put QPR. The first
Thank you.
TME substitution, first time ever. You heard it here first. Wow. So yeah, we're gonna put it QPR, and that's it. I think that'll be a much more nice story. He's gonna get the love. His kids will get the love. He gets to play football, and I think he'll bang you some goals.
So the main reason why I'm not for the Millwall thing as well is because I know also he was recently robbed as well in like November or something like that. So it's like for me, the most important thing is that he's playing and he is having a good time, and he will not have
Yeah,
a good time playing for Millwall. So
I think he wouldn't have a good time. When you add all of those contexts, for sure, I wouldn't want him. I wouldn't advise him to go no more. But yeah, when you also think about the fact that he started at QPR is currently kind of like mid-table in the championship. So they're gonna win
yeah.
some, they're gonna lose some. He will score some goals. He'll have some happy days. And I think for this era of his career, he's won it all already, right? He's won the Champions League,
Hmm.
right? Am I
Yeah.
wrong? He's won it, right?
No.
He's won everything he needs to win. Obviously, he probably would have to give up on playing for England any longer. Um, but yeah, I don't think that's the worst thing in the world. You know,
No.
a championship legend. How about that? Something around championship. How about that?
That's true, but dude, man, it's hard in the fucking champ, man. Bro, man,
It's
play like
hard, but like
40.
in
They
the
play
right
46
team,
games a season. 46 league
yeah,
games a season.
exactly. So he's gonna you get some games.
Oh
He
yeah.
will get
Oh
some
yeah.
games. So like
100%. Playing
you
every
can
fucking
play so
Wednesday.
much, he's gonna be tired. He's gonna be like, "Coach, I'm tired."
Exhausted.
Yeah, I know. All right, I'm good. I played. I'll be the bench guy. Put me on the bench.
Facts.
Man.
I
But
bet.
yes, guys, thank you so much for joining us. Like the video if you enjoyed this, and let us know your opinions in the comments below. Subscribe and hit the bell to be notified on our next episode, where we'll be grading the 10 most expensive transfers of January 2025. Have a great week, everyone. Thank you.